Join discord.gg/flatearth and enter a check-in room. Someone will come along and verify you to get involved in the conversation about our Earth.
We're not fighting a losing battle, just an uphill battle. That's all.
Hey guys, my friend Zebulon is finally here. If anybody wants to talk, he's a Glober. But he's here.
I'm neither. Like, take me up there and let's have a look. Like, until I can see it, really, like, there's so many other more.
He's the gravity example.
And I think there's a lot of compelling arguments on Flat Earth for sure. Like, I'm a critical thinker and I try to be fair, but I really appreciate you, Sydney, for like bringing me into all this. But and there was a time where I probably would have been more eager to like I don't like debate about it or any of that stuff. But it's like I don't know. I look around, like when I look in outer space, everything's round. I don't know. I really don't. If we can go up there and I could have a look, I'd tell you or whatever. But I don't believe we went to the moon. I don't believe stuff like that. I even wonder if the moon really even affects the tide. Like,
I think it's a plus.
No, I don't believe the moon affects the tide. I believe that the most person to actually listen
be round. Ironically enough, I didn't even
Why is that?
Because if water's in a glass, right? And I know it's a cylinder, not a sphere, but bear with me. If water's in a glass and you spin the glass will always spin faster than the water, but the water will spin with the glass, right?
The water was
it will catch up with it and be in the state of what the density is.
Guys, we need somebody to take some order here because we got a Glober.
Yeah, like
yeah. But I want to look at when Picard went up in his balloon that was made of metal and went up the highest that anyone had ever been and looked down on the Earth. He was the most hardcore person that wanted to look at the state of the Earth. His name was Picard, wasn't it? He went up as higher than anyone else before, and he saw a flat Earth.
I'll do it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Anyway, go ahead. I mean, the water you just invoked is contained. I don't see how that helps the globe.
No, okay, but bear, like, if the water was on the outside of the glass, like, okay, the Earth's round, there's water on the outside surface of it. The water's always looking for the path of least resistance. So as the Earth turns, it would push the water. So you have a difference in tide because, like, the water would bulge up slightly. You know what I mean? Because it's being pushed by, I don't know. I haven't thought about this in a long time, but
you're all good. But dude, this is the easiest way to get to the bottom of this. All right, you have to test the radius value. That's it. We can talk about all the globe theories, bro. The tidal theory. I have a paper I can give you this called "A Century of Tidal Theory Failures" from Harvard. Admittedly, they can't explain the tides, but that's just jumping way ahead. Like, they claim the Earth's a globe, and they claim it has a certain size, and its radius is 3,959 miles. Okay, if that radius value number is wrong, everything else in the model is wrong, because that's how they made gravity, day and night cycle. That's how they claim the planets move. That's how they claim everything.
And there's a good chance someone made mistakes somewhere along the way, because, I mean, you know, I don't know enough about that. I'm sure it's actually compelling. And
he's right.
Oh, cool, sweet. But, like, for me, like,
just made a mistake, man. Doesn't exist.
And maybe I'm missing, like, why the debate between the two, because really, I mean, frankly, like, I don't know. I don't know if it's round. I don't know if it's flat.
Let's do a mind blow.
And maybe I'm missing, like, the gravity of why it's so important. But
yeah.
Are you looking at the text chat, the freaking live stream chat?
I have it pulled up for us.
Yeah, so I posted the Pythagorean theorem. It shows, like, so you just understand the basic concept, right? There's going to be a certain amount of drop over a certain distance, right?
Yeah.
Do you understand that concept?
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're just trying to talk about that, right?
If you're going to look out over the ocean, right? You shouldn't be able to see through, the physical curve of the Earth, right?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
sure.
So I'm gonna post
Shouldn't be
this.
able to see around it.
I follow you.
So I just posted another one. So it's the Chicago skyline. Okay. Do you see the buildings?
Yep.
Okay. So this is what happens. People go out and they test it for themselves. There's, a few different methods you can use, and you're going to get the same numbers up to 1,000 miles. We should not be able to see any of those buildings if we lived on a globe with a radius of 3,959 miles. Period. That's not an observation you can make on a globe with that claimed radius.
How far away was this picture taken?
This one was it 56 miles, I think. But there's hundreds of observations like this.
Yeah, okay, so this isn't the best one. I'm just gonna go ahead. It's like this guy apparently was a little higher up in the math when people just assume he's low. Like, look, we see.
Let's use the one with like the oil rig or something. Maybe.
Yeah, do that. Dude, the Black Swan, or like, dude, we see the Canigou Mountains. The entire mountain should be blocked by literal miles of Earth curvature. The top of the mountain should have an additional mile of curvature above it. So here's another one. Yeah, you see, like, so this dude put his camera 1 foot off the ground. So the curve of the Earth, you should see the horizon of the curve of the Earth at 1.2 miles away. And do you see the horizon in the back of the picture behind the oil rig? Yeah, that means the horizon is at least 10 miles away. It's clearly further than that, but it doesn't matter. So it should be at 1 mile, but it's over 10 miles away. So that debunks the radius. That's geometrically impossible.
And then let's go into the whole whatever you got with the angles and the triangle. I was trying to talk to him about that before, but it was much easier when you guys did that performance earlier, which was stellar. So I really appreciate it.
Well, just one second on that. Just hold on one second.
A little bit.
Just make sure he understands, like, when you're looking at those, like, you understand that there's these observations where the horizon is way too far, and we're able to see objects way too far. So there's a recent one, a 700-mile photo with 49 miles of missing curve.
Oh yeah, the video too. Can I get the video?
Do you see, like, this is just, if you're starting with this belief, right, that you live on a globe that's curving. So these observations directly contradict that belief, right? At least with a curve of a radius of a certain amount.
What's being displayed in these images, like, even I've done long range shooting competitions and stuff, and it's like I've shot a 12-inch piece of steel at over 1,150 yards away, and it's just like with.
By the way,
and I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm just saying, like, I've used long range optics before, and
this is further though. This is 10 miles, right?
Right.
And that's 10 miles out from where it should have been, basically, on the globe, right? So that's showing you that there's no surface curvature. There's no drop. That drop over distance isn't there.
That
physical.
I'm in Colorado. Like, I'm
hold on, dude. Hold on.
You're named after a mountain.
Real quick. That physical. Listen to me real quick.
Flat, but
can you listen to me real quick? Hold on. That physical horizon that you see in that picture is supposed to be in front of those oil rigs and blocking those oil rigs in some form of fashion. But what you're looking at is they're behind the oil rigs.
They're made up, in my opinion.
They're made up. So the sky above us is made up.
I think. Well, that's the firmament.
And that's. I'm not trying to make fun of anybody. I'm just like,
bro. I know more about this.
I don't know what's real, but I look at patterns. Like,
the globe interpretation of it is made up.
Bro, let me just get out ahead of this. Okay, you've said this a few times. You're saying, like, if I look up, everything's round. Why is the Earth not round? Okay.
Like, I don't care if gravity exists or not. If I let go of the can of Monster in my hand, it's going to fall and hit the ground and spill all over the floor.
That's what he's
like. You gotta think about what you're saying here, bro. Listen, man. The difference is stationary plain Earth. Stationary flat Earth. Okay, it's in the center of everything. Everything moves around us.
And that concept, the way it's kind of a
stationary flat Earth, exactly.
And like, I can play with that concept, and it's not, impossible. in my mind. It's not highly probable. But at on the other hand, like
Bro, why can't
There's
you
no
listen,
evidence.
Like-
On the other hand, there's no evidence.
Buddy,
You gotta hear me out here. Let me just finish. Let me just finish.
Yeah.
So, like, if the Earth is in the center and everything moves around it, why would you think it's logical that everything that moves around the Earth would be the same as the Earth? The Earth has the special, unique
I think it's
position.
the
It's
most
different.
logical to
Wait,
believe
almost done.
everything
The Earth is different than
around.
everything else because it's in the middle. Why would it be the same as everything else?
What is? But I mean, the middle of what? Like our galaxy, the middle of
The whole entire cosmos.
What we can see.
I mean, especially under like the
And then
the understanding that even being someone who believes in some form of a higher power, we don't have to get into all that. I think God's really nothing more than like the objective truth, not your truth, my truth, but objective truth, right? Like,
Thank you. That's what we were talking about earlier.
it's ultimately at the end of the day for me though, and this is my thing, and no offense to anybody, and I'm once again, thank you for inviting me here and for all of you to invest your time in trying to help me understand these things. And I've spent some time talking to people in my past about this stuff. It's just, at the end of the day, for me, it's like, if the Earth's round or flat or however we're flying through the cosmos, all that jazz, I don't understand how it makes a difference.
He's about to have a kid too. So hold on.
If it doesn't,
I don't see how it would make a difference. That everyone on the Earth can't travel past the 60th south latitude. Have you ever seen the movie The Hunger Games? They drew a circle around everyone and said you're not allowed to leave it. How would that not matter?
I mean,
Exactly.
yeah, like the like
To keep us complicit and underneath their authority.
You do realize
Look,
that outer space. You do realize.
Real quick. If it doesn't matter, then it shouldn't be an issue to accept the evidence against the globe.
where do I need to go beyond where I can go?
That's what Andrew said too. But
Why do I don't need time and space. I don't
If you don't know what is true, then you don't know how to think. You don't know what
I know,
to think.
at the end of the day,
right?
Me being good to the people around me and enjoying my life and being good to my community, like those are the things that will matter to me. Like at the end of the day,
what about all this? What about the millions of children that are being brainwashed and told that the Earth is just a tiny speck of dust and doesn't matter, and that they're meaningless and that they're just nothing?
Well, yeah, I'm not a fan of nihilism either, but you don't like the shape of the Earth.
It's everything.
Shouldn't dictate whether or not things are important or not.
Oh, it definitely
matters.
Here's why it matters.
Say these things.
But look! You don't have to tell him why it matters because it clearly matters to him. He's trying to hold on to the globe, so it's
It matters because they're hurting you and other humans like cattle.
Hey, dude! All I know is that my world has got my girl looking awfully brown right now. So I'm just smart. I'm sorry. I'm smart. So, like,
your potential.
This is why
Okay,
I would
like
help you. You know.
if you don't know the truth, then you don't know how to be nice to people. You don't know how to think about people.
Think about this, bro. Think about this. You don't even know anything about what the world you live in right now. If the Earth is what they told you, everything you see is backwards. You can't even understand your world, bro.
At the end of the day, man, I have to decide for myself.
Discernment.
I have to decide for myself. There's no word that any person could ever say to me that could convince me of something. It's
then if you don't care, you don't care, bro. But if you want to learn more about this, but listen. If you want to learn more about this, you got to stop talking, bro. Listen, you got to start listening to people. Okay? No, you keep talking through everybody, bro. You're literally talking through everybody.
I don't need to be.
When people are trying to talk to you and explain stuff, you're talking through them. I'm just saying, if you don't care, then get off. But if you want to hear, then listen, bro.
Hold on, let me say something. It matters because the globe Earth, right, is about there is no God. Is about telling people that there's no God. That's what the globe Earth. That's what all this is about.
Thank you.
Okay, that's why it matters.
I don't need to know what the shape of the Earth is.
And when you wait, and a person who thinks or believes there is no God, right?
God's
is,
the voice in the back
is
of my mind that
hopeless.
tells me
Right?
when I've done something
Everything
wrong.
is meaningless.
You're a speck, right, in the middle of nowhere, right? You're basically like expendable, and you should probably
I am
do
expendable.
what they're
No,
telling
stop.
you to do to save
Okay.
humanity. Blah blah blah, all that crap.
Why are you leaving?
Okay, that's why. But if you knew, okay, that God made you and that you're very special to Him, you might live your life differently and be satisfied with whatever God has given you. I don't know, but it matters a lot. Truth
Look, even if
matters.
you think there's a God or you have your own interpretation of a God right now, that's cool, bro. We're talking about the world is deceived. The world is being deceived, including children, bro. If you actually care about being nice people,
No, hang on, hold up. Being a righteous man.
Stop, man.
I have been. I'm trying to respond. Like y'all can talk.
You're not.
All
You're
day.
talking through it every time, bro. Calm down.
I am calm. Like.
Okay, but you keep
You
talking
guys
through
jumped
him.
down my throat.
Just
Like,
let him talk and let him finish.
Look,
what if we bring it back to some fundamentals? What if we bring it back to some fundamentals? Because it actually sounds to me like he's got a little bit of a misconception about what flat Earth is, and I think he's accepted outer space as being absolute.
I don't care about
and I think he's.
You mentioned
One sec. I think he's placed the flat Earth inside that model.
Why did you ask me?
And we need to take that out of his mind. So if someone wants to take it back to the fundamentals and give him a little bit of an introduction, and let's find out what he knows and what he doesn't know.
sure, and let's kind of try not to dogpile him. So let's let him.
Yeah.
Let's let him respond. No one interrupt him, and then please you don't interrupt everyone else. So go ahead, say what you want.
Also, real quick, Sydney, could you just let him talk if he's talking to us, please? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, fine. I'll talk.
No. Hang on, hold up. Hang on. I don't really.
You're awesome, Zeb.
I have so much to say, but at the same time, like, guys, like, I'm kind of hung up on, and maybe I misunderstood somebody, whoever was speaking, and seriously, like,
Like we've heard everything.
I've spent a lot of time, questioning everything. That's like one of my biggest mottos. You have to like question everything. Like the truth's like silver. You have to dig for it. Like you can pan for gold, but you got to dig for silver, right? So I suppose that's why we're here. And but if we're talking about having a relationship with God or being, at the very least, a righteous man, if the correlation between who I choose to be, how I choose to treat everything around me, how I choose to live my life, has never depended upon whether or not I know. Hang on, I know any better.
And just let go.
About the shape of the Earth, or the way
it doesn't matter, though.
Time and space, like I believe that I can be.
Why are you holding on to the globe then if it doesn't really have any practical impact on your life?
Well, and that's what I'm trying to ask is like, I don't, like I said, I don't, like, there's so many huge issues going on in the world.
The value of you as a person
that literally like concerns me, especially when it comes to topics like our children, the future, all that, like.
Well, dude, that's what I'm trying to say to you, bro. Is like this lie is literally leading children into a worldview of nihilism. It's also drawing a circle around them and telling them that they have to be good little slaves and stay inside the circle. So you don't need to know the Earth is flat to know that there's a God, bro. You don't need to know the Earth is flat to be a good person. I don't dispute that you may be a good person and that you may believe in a God. However you interpret that, that's cool, bro. Okay, but the conversation is about truth, And if you think that God is basically objective truth epitomized, which I kind of agree with that, right? Then you should always want to know what the truth is, whatever it is. Certainly, whenever the subject is being used to brainwash children.
So my I totally your reason for being concerned about what you're concerned about is a important thing to be concerned about. You know, like what our children are being taught. But and I can think of all sorts of ways that our society has been. I mean, pick whatever society you want around the world, wherever you are in the world. But like here in America, it's like the attack on the mental state, the mental development, the development of our culture, our children, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
Is under attack in so many ways. I mean, I can think of other issues that to me are far more pertinent and important. And I'm just saying, like, I'll never know until I leave my soul leaves my body, or
so your kid's being lied to about all of reality just doesn't really matter.
My kids aren't going to be lied to about the reality because I'm not going to tell them, because
you're going to be homeschooling them.
You're going to be told, though. Let's be real. They're going to be told by somebody. So, like, I understand what you're saying, bro. A lot of us had the same thing. We're like,
a lot of these people are parents, by the way.
Real
quick. Same thing. We have the same thing. What would flat Earth
hold on, guys. Hold on, everybody. Just hold on a second.
I'll never know.
You guys gotta try to speak one at a time. You know. Witsit was trying to respond. I hear Flat T getting in there.
Yeah, it's cool.
Check me out, bro. Look, we all had a similar experience. We're like, what are these people talking about? That sounds crazy. And what would that even matter? We all thought that. But bro, once you find out, that question gets answered very quickly. Okay?
And all the other things that you think are attacking us, which are valid.
Sydney, Witsit was talking. Please let me finish and let your friend talk.
I'm just saying real fast, bro. Like it changes a lot, okay? And I'm going to try to explain this really quickly. But our children are being told there was something called the Big Bang. Everything exploded, and that we're a tiny speck of dust in this ever-expanding universe of nothingness. And because of random chance, because the universe is so big, we just so happen to develop on a rock that's dusty, and we're insignificant, and we're animals that just happen to develop on it. Okay, now listen. If the Earth is actually in the center of everything, which, by the way, the highest levels of academia will tell you they cannot prove it's not. They say it's the same illusion that it looks like that. Real fast. If it's in the center of everything, something had to put it there. That means that maybe you figured out there was a God, but there are millions of children that think it's logical to think that there's not one because we're just a tiny speck of dust and it's all random. Okay, that means that millions of people are being deceived into nihilism, bro.
Right.
Nobody figures anything out. Nobody figures anything out when they're dead. Okay.
Drugs are being pumped into our heads.
Nobody knows anything when they're dead. Nobody learns anything when they're dead. The time to do all that is now. To say you'll figure it out when you're dead, right? You may as well be dead now.
I'm saying, let's solve the war on drugs. Let's get people sober. Let's get people clear-headed.
You didn't say that, though.
And then we can talk about the bigger issues. And I'm not trying to. Once again, I mean no disrespect. I just, on things that I can
he needs the gravity
know and solve. Like I don't want to debate with people about whether or not gravity exists, because if I let go of this can of Monster, it's going to fall every time, regardless of what is gravity is defined.
It's not about what you want or not want to do.
I let go of this can, it's going to fall.
It's not about how you feel.
It isn't about how I feel. Whether or not
about what you want to do. You don't have to do anything.
So here, check this out. Like, okay, so if you
exist, but like,
but his rebuttal to my gravity has not ever been proven or
changed. Going to be
his question to me was, well, what about space and time? What are space and time? And I said, how does that relate to what I just talked about? So
So I'll just say, like, let's say you actually do the work and you look into this topic and you find out, holy shit, I've been lied to about a lot of things. What that does, it forces you, it puts you in a position where you are like, I have to question everything and I have to provide evidence for my beliefs. And when you do that, you become a much more righteous, intelligent person.
The answer is that space-time is something Einstein made up. We know what space and we know what time is, right? You travel a certain space, a certain distance, over a certain time.
He said they're both.
That's all that is.
The difference between a piece of gold, an hour, and a dollar bill is nothing. They're just measurements of the same thing. It's like duration. How long have you been alive? This many years. Whether that was the sun taking laps around us or us taking laps around the sun, it's duration times duration. That's it.
Okay, so look, the topic doesn't matter, and you've been in here long enough talking about how much it doesn't matter.
Well, no,
if it doesn't matter, why be here talking about it at all? Clearly, it matters to you enough to be here talking at length about how much it doesn't matter. So if you want to be here, let's actually address the topic. Let's address the issues with the globe.
You know who else doesn't like talking about gravity? Neil deGrasse Tyson. Next question. He doesn't know. Yeah, next question.
I think that last guy's right. Like, he either wants to be here and talk about it or he doesn't. If he doesn't, that's fine, but, don't take the time to talk to us if you're not going to listen.
Right.
If you want to know, then you gotta stop talking through people. You got to just chill and keep your ear open,
Totally. And if it didn't matter to you, you wouldn't be here telling us at length how much it doesn't matter to you. So it clearly does. Let's get that out of the way. If you want to talk, let's go on and talk about the actual subject.
So can I debunk outer space, or is somebody else going to come in?
Might as well start with the curve. I don't think we even got through that.
Yeah, go ahead, Heretic. You got
I think we should just have one person.
I'm kind of in between doing things, so I'm only sort of somewhat chiming in. But if someone else wants to take the reins, that's cool. Let's just start with the curve. That's step one.
I think Flatsy should do it.
Yeah, okay. So no one in history has ever directly measured drop over distance curvature of the Earth. You can go and look for yourself. Try to find when they've actually directly measured drop over distance curvature, and you'll find that they've measured anything but the surface of the Earth, first and foremost. So we've gone and tested for the curvature, and nobody all over can find it. All over. We've got people in Australia. I'm here in Alabama. We got people all over the U.S. looking at every coast. You go find it. If you can find it, bring it to us. We're happy to analyze the information with data and all of the things. Second thing is the motion of the Earth at axial rotation. We're supposed to be spinning at about 1,000 miles per hour at the equator. So when was this ever measured? I'll go ahead and spoil it for you. No one has ever been able to measure the motion of the Earth, ever. And just like Witsit was telling you, everything that moves around us as if we are at the center. Okay. Third thing,
we don't know
is that we're told that we are this spinning globe, that nobody's ever measured any of that in an open system an open system with gas pressure next and adjacent to a near perfect vacuum of space. And we have certain natural laws, like the law of entropy goes into our second law of thermodynamics, where high pressure goes to low pressure. And there is no reversing it. There is no decrease in entropy. There's only increase in entropy. It's not reversible. So you can't have any kind of high pressure next to low pressure at all, first of all, without it all going and dispersing in all directions violently, or to have ever been formed in the first place.
You mean like a tornado?
And you also, well, kind of, but that's how weather is. It's dynamic because of how high
Right.
pressure always goes to low pressure. Entropy is the reason why we have violent weather. Entropy is the reason why we all die. Entropy is the reason why your strawberries get mold on them. Entropy is always ever increasing and never decreases. It's just the way that the world is. It's a law, a natural law. So here's what I'm going to say to you. This is the last thing, and then you guys can talk amongst yourselves.
I like this.
You can't have the gas. You can't have the gas pressure that we're breathing here on Earth without a container. Because the whole definition of gas pressure is how gas will fill the available volume and press on its container, and that is how you get gas pressure.
This is when it condenses.
So, we have to have a container so the Earth is not curving into a ball. It measures flat, and we utilize it as such. It's not moving. Whatever's in the sky is moving around us. And third of all, we're contained. So the antecedent to whatever we are, we have to be created. It's intelligently designed and in order. The only thing that we have to account for is this law of entropy, by the way. So we are specially put in place.
Thank you.
So the antecedent to creation is a creator, and now you know the nature of your creator. Because there's not only just a crazy world where we're living in, and people are following these laws. There are certain laws of nature, like the law of attraction, where your consent matters. So you consent to the globe, you consent to not your nature of your creator. So you have a creator, and there is a nature to the creator. So you have to know those things first before you know your creator. And then I will yield the floor to anybody else who wants to add.
Hey, Earth's flat. Go outside, check it out.
It matters for our kids' sake.
I want to talk about. I want to talk about the creator.
Whoever that was.
I think.
Thank you.
Hold on, Michael.
We're
Hold on, Michael.
right now.
Before you jump in, Sydney, your friend, does he have a response to that?
I would just like to remind you all that when I came on here, I was trying to explain that I didn't come here to be persuaded one way or the other. I don't ever know if I will be persuaded one way or the other. And I've tried to state multiple times that I mean no offense by the things I'm saying. I'm honest. I'm not be blatantly disrespectful to anybody.
Check it out. That's the last time you're gonna give us that same message, right? So, is there anything that anyone can say that won't elicit that response?
I have a question for him.
No. We need to understand that he wants to speak first. Do you want to talk to someone in here, or no? You just want to listen? What's up?
I'm more of an observer, really.
That's fine, man. Trust me, that's fine. If my best friend Jonathan was in here, he'd rather sit in the corner and just observe. So there's no rule against that, bro. Don't let anybody push you into a situation you don't want to be in. You can observe and sit and do whatever you like, man.
Yeah, if you've looked at everything that we've looked at, and your conclusion that's real, that's your decision. We're not here to advise you and convince you. You know, we respect your brain and what you perceive, and we do for ourselves. And that's what I expect for everyone. But the point I was, as Sydney was saying, is that I believe in a creator. And in my life, I've gone through hardships. I've lost my twin brother. He's dead. He died at 28. I've gone through hardships, and I've made mistakes in my life, and I've suffered for it, and I paid the price for it. I'm a sinner, you know, and I'm a Christian, but I cannot make it right, and I'm afraid, and I am trying to be on a journey of truth, so I at least know the truth. For where I went wrong, where I could have been, where I should go, and what I want, and what's right about what I want, and that's important to me, and that involves the rock I'm stood on.
And I think that's wonderful. And,
Continue.
the beautiful thing is like, if you're able to learn from your mistakes and everything, then you shouldn't be afraid, you know, like.
Well, I'm not anymore.
And I don't know. I hope you know, it just seemed like I had maybe offended people. I am kind of outspoken about my perspective, but
if I have to be honest, I'm bored.
At one point,
Coming in real low, Elijah.
heliocentric model. So you're not alone.
I agree, Elijah.
I like some of my best friends, like one of my best friends, literally, like I have like a life debt to this dude. Like I'm definitely someone who like believes in the Constitution. I'm very like pro-America. I'm like second generation American. Like one of my best friends like believes in communism, and you know he went to college and to a degree, yeah. But he's a very logical person. But he's a very good person.
I'm gonna have to stop you there.
He saved my life.
I'm gonna
And
have
what
to
I'm
stop
saying,
you there.
can I please
I'm gonna have to stop you there. Like I was
please,
gonna.
the fact that you would
No, I'm
interrupt
the
me when I'm trying
moderator
to-
of this stream, so that's why I'm stopping you there.
The fact that you're not.
This isn't your house, okay? Have
You're
some
right. It's
respect.
a
So
thing,
okay,
I
so
mean,
now I'm gonna say
but
something, and this is what's gonna happen.
you stopped me before you even knew why I
Everybody
was
with
saying
the
what I was saying.
story, everyone
I
with the
literally
story is no, because either you want to
you
have
can't
the
learn anything
conversation
if you're
or
offended by the title that someone holds.
all right.
No one's offended by your view of heliocentrism. At one point, everyone was a heliocentric believer.
Bro,
You're getting muted.
Go ahead.
Who else wants to get muted? Who wants to get muted? Who
Please,
else?
please. You're talking from me here.
I speak for myself, not for Sydney.
I know that, but I'm just saying, please, just listen.
Yeah, you've been very defensive, and you'd like you.
No, you definitely
stereotypical
as well. You too.
Like
no,
what I
you
represent.
too. No, you too. No, you too. You need to stop talking as well. Okay. So what we're not going to do is have a therapy session for everybody who wants to emo dump in here. That's not what this place is for. You either want to talk about flat earth or you do not. I don't give a damn about your best friend, what you guys spoke about when you were in kindergarten, any of this stuff. All of that stuff is great, but we have a full room in here. So, you know, there's also another room called the chill chat. If you want to express yourself, that would be the place to do it. We're going to talk about flat earth, how there's no measurable curvature, how there's no detection of axial rotation, and how the vacuum of space is a second law of thermodynamics. Questions?
Tags! What is your profession?
See, old friend, I brought more soldiers than you did.